Okay, so now that we have our database and it's populated with data, we can see the data in here. Show table data. What we want to do is we want to display a table of it. So here's all our data. What we want to do is display a table of it in our form, in our screen. So what we want to do is we want to create a data set, and we create it in much the same way as we create a database. We go project, add new item, click on data to filter it, data set, make that lowercase, and click add. And now we have a new data set created, but we want to give it data associated with the table, so we just go to our Server Explorer and we drag the table over here. Great, so the next thing we do is we want to add this grid, this data set, to our form. So we click on our design view, we click on data source, a new tab over here, and now we drag our data set onto our form and we get this grid. And the grid, just bring it up a little bit. We see in properties over here, the name of the grid is Girl Names Data Grid View. If we run this, start the application, we see all the names here. So all the data is being displayed, but it's a lot, so we want to be able to filter it somehow. So the other thing we can do is go to Toolbox and look for text box. Text box, drag the text box over. We will put it above the name because we're going to create a filter for the name. If we double click on it, we get to the code for it. And what we want to do is basically, as the user's typing, we want to capture the text that they're typing and use a little piece of SQL to use that to filter the data we see in the grid view. So the first thing we do is we create a data view object. Data view, and we'll call it the variable, we'll hold it onto it as a variable, we call it dv equals new data view, and in the creation of this we'll pass in our data view data set. So this dot data, we call it data set 1, and the table is girl names. Cool. So we have that. New line. Next thing we want to start filtering. So we go dv, our data view, row filter equals string dot format. And we want to create a little piece of SQL to filter it and the text box text. So we'll just grab the text box text. We just need to change the name of our text box. Currently it is called text box 1, which doesn't look great in the code. So we'll just scroll up and we will name it name filter text box. We go back to our code. We called it name filter text box dot text, so we actually refer to the text, and then the piece of SQL is name like, and this is like a wildcard. The percentage means any value on either side, so it could be anything. It's like, yeah, that's the wildcard part, the percentage. And the 0 with the curly braces around it is a marker to say we're going to fill in the value here. And the value we're filling in, of course, is the text that the user enters. Then we go this dot girl names data grid view dot data source will actually equal the filtered value dv. Okay, so now we run this. We should have a little filter box with a name. Let's put in the name Karen. And now it filters all the names and we only see the records that have the name like Karen. But remember, we've had a percentage sign on each side, so it can be anything on either side. So even if we put in something else if we put in remove the K, it still comes up with Karen because it's anything on either side of what we put in. I hope that helps. And so that is how to create a data set and a filter. Thank you.